On rainy night in December 2018. New York City was rocked by news of the brutal murder of a young man named Norman Lincoln. The 25-year-old man was found dead in his home. Hello everyone, I'm Detective Jacin. Welcome to my channel, where I solve mysteries and crimes using logic and clues. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe. So let's get back to our story. It all started when I got a call from the New York City police station. They had found a body in an alley, shot multiple times in the chest and head. The victim was a young man named Norman Lincoln, a local journalist who had been working on some controversial stories. He had no enemies as far as I knew, but someone wanted him dead. The crime scene was a mess. There were no witnesses, no fingerprints, no shell casings, nothing. The only clue was a piece of paper in the victim's pocket, with a phone number and a name. Desmond Austin. I ran a background check on him, and I was shocked by what I found. He was a wealthy businessman who owned several companies and properties. He was also married to Norman's ex-girlfriend, Sarah, whom he had met 2 years ago. They seemed to have a happy marriage, but I had a hunch that there was more to it than that. I decided to pay Austin a visit at his mansion. He greeted me politely and invited me in. He seemed calm and confident, not like someone who had just committed a murder. He told me that he had no idea why Norman would contact him, and that he had nothing to do with his death. He said that he had been at home with his wife the night of the murder, and that he had an alibi. He also showed me his collection of firearms, which he claimed to be a hobby. He said that he had a license for all of them, and that none of them matched the bullets that killed Norman. He seemed to have an answer for everything, but I was not convinced. I asked him if I could talk to his wife, but he said that she was not feeling well and that she was resting in her room. He said that I could come back another time and that he would cooperate with the investigation. He escorted me to the door and smiled. I could tell that he was hiding something and that he was playing with me. I left his mansion and drove to the police station. I checked the phone records and confirmed that Norman had called Austin the night of the murder. He had also sent him a text message saying that he had something important to tell him and that they should meet in the alley. Austin had replied, saying that he would be there in 15 minutes. That was the last message that Norman ever sent. I wondered what Norman had to tell Austin and why he chose such a dangerous place to meet. I also wondered why Austin lied to me and what he was hiding in his mansion. I decided to dig deeper into Austin's life and see if I could find any motive for the murder. I discovered that he had a dark past and that he had been involved in some shady deals and scandals. He had also been accused of fraud, embezzlement, and tax evasion, but he had always managed to escape justice. He had a lot of enemies and a lot of secrets. I also learned that he had met Sarah at a charity event and that he had fallen in love with her at first sight. He had pursued her relentlessly and had convinced her to leave Norman and marry him. He had showered her with gifts and attention and had given her everything she ever wanted, but he had also been very possessive and controlling and had isolated her from her friends and family. He had also been abusive and violent and had threatened to kill her if she ever left him. Sarah had been unhappy and scared, but she had no way out. She had tried to contact Norman and ask for his help, but Austin had found out and had gone into a rage. He had decided to kill Norman and make it look like a random robbery. He had planned everything carefully and had executed his plan flawlessly. He had thought that he had gotten away with it, but he had made one mistake. He had left behind a notebook with the plan of the murder and other incriminating records. He had hidden it in his safe, but he had forgotten to lock it, and I had found it. I had gone back to his mansion with a search warrant and a team of officers. I had searched every inch of his house and had found the notebook in his office. I had opened it and had seen the evidence that I needed. It was a detailed account of how he had killed Norman and why. It also contained other information, such as his bank accounts, his contacts, his crimes, and his enemies. It was a goldmine of information and a smoking gun. I had arrested him on the spot and had taken him to the police station. He had tried to deny everything and had claimed that the notebook was not his. He had also tried to bribe me and to threaten me, but I had ignored him and had booked him for first-degree murder. I had also called Sarah and had told her that she was free. She had broken down in tears and had thanked me. She had also agreed to testify against him and to tell the truth. The trial was a media sensation. The public was outraged by Austin's crime and demanded justice. The prosecution had a strong case and presented the notebook as the main evidence. They also called Sarah as a witness, and she confirmed that Austin had killed Norman and that he had abused her. She said that she was sorry for what had happened and that she still loved Norman. She said that Austin had manipulated her and that she had been afraid of him. She said that she wanted him to pay for what he had done and that she hoped that he would rot in prison. She seemed sincere, and the jury believed her. But then, something unexpected happened. She changed her mind. On the last day of the trial, Sarah took the stand again and recanted her testimony. She said that she had lied and that Austin was innocent. She said that she had been coerced by me and that I had threatened to harm her if she did not cooperate. She said that I had planted the notebook and that I had fabricated the evidence. She said that I had a personal vendetta against Austin and that I had framed him for the murder. She said that she loved Austin and that he was a good man. She said that she wanted him to be free and that she wanted to be with him. She seemed crazy, and the jury was confused. I was shocked, and I did not know what to do. I had no idea why she would do this and what had made her change her mind. I wondered if Austin had somehow contacted her and had convinced her to lie. I wondered if he had blackmailed her or bribed her or brainwashed her. I wondered if she was still afraid of him or if she was still in love with him. I wondered if she had lost her mind or if she had a plan. The judge was furious and ordered a recess. He said that he would consider the new testimony and that he would make a decision. He said that he would not tolerate any more lies and that he would punish anyone who tried to obstruct justice. He said that he would deliver his verdict the next day and that he hoped that the truth would prevail. He dismissed the court and everyone left. I stayed behind and tried to figure out what had happened. I looked at Austin and he looked back at me. He smirked and winked. He thought that he had won and that he had fooled everyone. He thought that he had escaped justice and that he had gotten away with murder. He thought that he was smarter than me and that he had beaten me. He was wrong. The next day, the judge announced his verdict. He said that he had reviewed the evidence and that he had reached a conclusion. He said that he had found Austin guilty of first-degree murder and that he had sentenced him to life in prison. He said that he had not believed Sarah's new testimony and that he had found it inconsistent and unreliable. He said that he had trusted the notebook and that he had found it credible and convincing. He said that he had seen through Austin's lies and that he had seen him for what he was. He said that he had done his duty and that he had delivered justice. He said that he hoped that Norman's family and friends would find peace and that they would remember him. He said that he hoped that Sarah would find help and that she would recover. He said that he hoped that Austin would repent and that he would face the consequences of his actions. He said that he had done his job and that he had closed the case. He banged his gavel and ended the trial. Everyone cheered and applauded. I smiled and sighed. I had done it. I had solved the case, and I had caught the killer. I had avenged Norman, and I had freed Sarah. I had exposed Austin, and I had put him behind bars. I had won, and he had lost. I had done my job, and I had told my story. Thank you for watching this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this case in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe.